Yo, what's up, insert generic fan base name here? It's your boy, insert generic YouTuber name here. And I'm coming at you today with some new... Okay, yeah, that feels really fake. Alright, what's up, guys? So, Microsoft did their press conference at E3. Bethesda did theirs too. I don't have a lot to say about that one. You know, I'll just throw that in here right now. Wolfenstein 2 looks great, and I'm hoping The Evil Within 2 is good, but that's about all I have to say about Bethesda. Anyway, Microsoft did theirs, and I got some stuff I'm excited about. This is basically just a video of what I found exciting from this press conference. There wasn't, there weren't hundreds of things that I found just overwhelmingly exciting where I was just sitting there gripping my, yeah, anyway, let's just move on. I don't know where to go with that. But there weren't a lot of things that I found super exciting, but there were a few. So one was backwards compatibility. Now, there was some stuff that came out a little bit ago about only like 1% of the time people spend on Xbox being used for backwards compatibility, blah, blah, blah. That's fine, whatever. Like, whether that's true or not, I don't really know. But I find backwards compatibility interesting and exciting, at least for me. It depends who it's for and how good it works. So there were some games that suffered from Black Crush when they hit backwards compatibility or frame rate issues. One of them, sadly, is still Halo Reach. My Scorpio video, I actually played some Halo Reach on Xbox One, and whenever there was an explosion, it would just like crash the frame rate. So stuff like that. That's not exciting. That when it doesn't work right, it's not exciting. But on the other hand, then you have Red Dead Redemption, which runs the best on Xbox One. It has really like no graphical fidelity issues for the most part, and it runs at a solid 30, which it did not run at on the original 360. So that is exciting. Like when they do this right, it is exciting. And they've said that they've been putting more effort into making these games run well. They released a big patch near the end of 2016, I believe, that improved the performance of a lot of games. Sadly, not Halo Reach. I don't get what's up with that. But yeah, so that's exciting because original Xbox games, they're going to be bringing them into the backwards compatibility thing. They are doubling down on their statement of making the Xbox One family of consoles so that you can play your old Xbox games on the new Xbox or your One or whatever. So that's cool. You know, that's a good thing. And that's a good thing for consumers. Whether you use it or not, it's a good thing to have there. I honestly think they're only doing this because they're behind Sony, but I think that's a good thing because that's what competition's supposed to be, right? Like the whole thing with capitalism is supposed to be you got Company A and Company B. Company A is doing way better than Company B, so Company B is supposed to try to do stuff to separate themselves from Company A or show that they care about their customer or that they're willing to take a loss somewhere so that the customer can get a better deal, stuff like that. That's capitalism in a nutshell. That is how it's supposed to work. A lot of times it doesn't work that way, but that's what it's supposed to do. So because, yeah, I think that's really why they're doing this. But I'm happy with it, and as a Let's Player, if you'd even call me that, someone who does play video games on YouTube, it works for me, you know? Like, we're gonna play Red Dead Redemption eventually. It's already installed on the Xbox One because it runs best there. Backwards compatibility, in my opinion, was a success when it works right. It does not always work right. They need to put some real solid effort into it to make it work right. But it is a thing they can say they have that Sony does not have. The closest Sony has is PlayStation Now, or buying PS2 games that now are in 1080p, but you're still forking out a lot for them. You're not using your old ones. Like I want to play Star Ocean Till the End of Time again on PS4. I gotta drop $21 even though I own it. I've owned it for years, but that's the way Sony's doing it. Microsoft not so much. So I think that's a good thing. I was also really excited for Cuphead. I've been waiting for that game for a long time. They didn't show very much about it. That kind of disappointed me that they glossed over it really dang quick. I'm not sure why that was. Like if they were afraid it's going to get delayed again. I don't know. Because every time they've showed Cuphead off in a bigger fashion, it's gotten delayed, pushed back, ignored, whatever. So maybe that was the case. I'm also excited for Anthem. So a lot of these are starting to blend together for me, but BioWare's new property looks good. I don't really know if it's going to be a Destiny killer. Like, whenever we hear blah 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 blank 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 killer, it never is. I would like to point you back to Haze, the Halo killer. Everything ever that claimed to be the Call of Duty killer that never was, and a lot of things have claimed to be that. Yeah, there's no such thing as a whatever killer. It doesn't happen when you market it that way. So I don't, but then again, I've heard that more from fans of these properties than from marketing. So who knows what's going to happen with that. The main thing that we got out of the actual show though was the Xbox One X. Yes, you heard me right. The Xbox One X. The X-Bone X, if you will. I wish it was the Xbox One R, so it could be the X-Boner. That would have been very funny, and I would have laughed, and I would have said, man, I'm getting hard for that X-Boner, you know what I'm saying? But that didn't happen, and so my juvenile sense of humor will have to stay where it belongs, in the dark depths of hell, burning forever, that is my soul. But, Xbox One X looks good. I was wrong about the price, and I'm happy about that, because I said in last time we talked about Scorpio, but by the way, this is Scorpio. I should clarify that. Oh, that's confusing? Yeah, it confused me too. So it's not the S, and it's not the Scorpio, but it is the Scorpio, because they're getting rid of the Scorpio name. That was just a project name. It is now the Xbox One X. Have a good time explaining that to your grandma for Christmas. You're gonna get the S, kiddo. But this thing, it is a powerhouse. They're really pushing the 4K angle. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't personally even know anyone who owns a 4K TV, to tell you the truth. Out of my billions of friends, because I'm so popular, I don't actually know anyone who has a 4K television. The adaptation rate has gone up in the last year by quite a bit, but I would say a majority of the market still doesn't have them, if I had to hazard a guess. They mentioned a type of boost mode for this thing, like very briefly, like what the PS4 Pro has, where if you say want to play it in 1080p and not an upscaled 4K, you can just play in 60 frames per second on a lot of those games. They mentioned a thing like that, but glossed over it really quick. I personally think that was a mistake. Don't get me wrong, I'm not some kind of marketing guru, but it seems to me like because a majority of the market still has 1080, you would want to market that boost mode as much as you could. Instead, everything got pushed as 4K pretty hard, so I'm just wondering how this thing will sell, because it's $500, 4K is the marketing point, and I'm just a little concerned that it won't sell that well. I had thought it would be $600 to $700. I'm glad I was wrong. I actually am glad I was wrong. I have no pride in hazarding a guess at the price of a plastic box. But I just don't know how well this thing will sell. And the reason I say that is because PS4 Pro initially had some hard time gaining traction because of the $400 price point. A lot of the times these days when you market a gaming console outside of the $300 to $350 price range, it seems like it has a hard time gaining traction. There's a lot of good reasons for this. One of them is that it's a console. It will eventually go obsolete. Yes, you can say PCs will too, but you can constantly upgrade them. So people don't seem to feel as bad dropping, double or triple the money into a big gaming PC that they know they can upgrade versus a console. So if I were to tell you, hey buddy, you can go to Best Buy right now, you don't even have to build your gaming PC, right? You can get a top of the line gaming PC, and when I say top of the line, I mean top of the line within reason, for about $1,200, $1,300. And that thing can be upgraded later, because we're not talking a laptop here, we're talking a desktop. A lot of gamers that are serious about gaming who are at least financially established and know that they want to keep playing games and this is their passion, they won't care. They'll do it. But if I were to tell you, hey, Billy, you can go drop half that money on a machine that you're not fully convinced of, that will become obsolete in a couple years, that we don't really understand if it's going to be upgradable or not. They've kind of teased that it might be, sort of. But yeah, you can drop $500 on that. It's more of a skeptical purchase. People aren't really sure if they want to do that. And I understand why they're not. I don't really know if I would want to pay $500 for this thing. I have a 1080p television right now. I can't afford to switch to 4K this year, even in 2017. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess the question is how many people are going to buy this. I know before they said it'll be a bit of a niche machine. I think they're just doing this to have it. But at the same time, they expect enough people to buy it that they are making specific enhancements to specific games just for it. Like Gears of War 4 is getting a huge bump for the Xbox One X and stuff like that. I don't know. I just wonder how good this will do. And I guess that's kind of what I wanted to leave off on, other than saying that I hope it does good. I took some flack on my Scorpio comments before. I think people assume that I just don't like Xbox. That's not the truth. I'm not what would you say? I don't have allegiance to one brand. These are toy brands to me, basically, you know? I think they're very interesting. They're cool companies, but I'm not like, oh yeah, bless Bill Gates and, damn the Sony fanboys. I have a PlayStation 3, a PlayStation 4, an Xbox One original, and an Xbox 360, and a gaming PC all hooked up right now to my television, right? I am not in one of these camps against the Xbox, but I'm just hoping that it does good. I'm not sure if people are going to be willing to spend the money, and I'd like to know what you guys think about that. So anyway, guys, I'd like to leave you here. Thanks a lot for joining me, generic YouTuber name, and I'll see you later. Peace.